Hey everybody, AZ Badfish here. Welcome back to my single player world in the Direwolf20 mod pack for 1.12. So, since last episode, in which we went to the Nether to get some cobalt for our tools and stuff, I have been a little bit busy, and you might have seen some stuff in my inventory. I've got a resonator right here. I've also got some watermills out here. Run over here. I've got 4 watermills. So those guys are producing for me 64 grid power, which is pretty sweet because I've got the Ring of the Flying Squid. I am really close to getting an angel ring, as a matter of fact. I've been working on that a little bit off camera. I've already got a bat. I just need to get a drop of evil to turn this into a curse lasso, capture ghast, and then I can turn this Ring of Flying Squid into an angel ring. If you didn't know, Ring of the Flying Squid is pretty cool. It hello? There we go. It works kind of like a jetpack. Like you can bounce way up with it, and then, you know, you'll fall down, and you will take fall damage, so you kind of got to mess with it and hit it, activate it a little bit on your way down so you don't, you know, smash in. But that's gonna help. That's gonna be helpful for us. So, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, as I said, that's gonna be helpful for us. We've got to go. I really need to get some more end rods. I really need to get some more blaze rods. I really need to get that drop of evil. So I'm gonna be headed back into the Nether soon. I think I'll probably do that off camera since we did that last episode. But that over there, let's talk about that. We're going to go on a little bit of adventure through the brain of AZ. I want to give you guys an idea of where we're going to be going in the next few episodes and how I decided to get there. So, I mentioned in the last episode, if you were Chris Hoffman, mentioned the Endergenic Generator. We're definitely going to be doing that, and I'm hoping to get to that today, as a matter of fact. If not today, definitely in the next episode. But you know, in between episodes, I've been mining, and it's been very frustrating because I keep breaking into caves and stuff, and I have to keep, like, sealing it off, and because I don't like fighting mobs and stuff, so I tend to just, if I hit a cave or a big ravine, I just tend to seal it off and keep going on my branches, because that's how I do. And it's been getting really annoying. I don't want to do that, especially since I've been doing that for quite a bit. We just started a new vanilla SMP series. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But that definitely involves a lot of mining, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I was thinking, is there a way that I can create or get somewhere where I don't have to worry about mobs? And sure enough, there is this Aroma 1997 Dimensional World is in this pack. So these portal frames are super easy to make. Real quick, I'll show you. It's just called a portal frame. It's a piece of any stone, and this mining multi-tool will get you a portal frame. And the mining multi-tool itself is easy. Stone bricks, stone pickaxe, flint and steel, stick, good to go. 10 of those, just like another portal, and this is the one that it created in the mining dimension. And as you can see there under my mini-map, it says mining biome. Now, I was under the impression there were no mobs here, but you can also see on the mini-map, there's plenty of mobs. And I've actually gone down there quite a bit, and yeah, there's mobs down there. So that didn't really solve my problem. I don't understand what the point of this dimension is. If you guys know, please let me know. I mean, I guess it makes sense in a skyblock world for sure, but for me, I don't understand the point of it. There's mobs there. It seems to be exactly the same as it is here, so that seems to be completely pointless. But yeah, so I came back from mining, and there's stuff everywhere, right? There's tons of stuff everywhere. I need storage. I need to get storage going, and I've been thinking about this when we get to storage. I think for my digital storage, I'm going to go with refined storage, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to it. But yeah, I need power for that. As it is right now, I barely have enough power to run this whole thing, because this only produces 60 RF per tick. Each one of these machines now, I think this one uses max 60, max 60, max 75, max 30. I think this one's also max 30. So yeah, I don't have enough power to run all those machines. I need to get more power before I can work on storage, so I want to do Endergenic Generators, which if we look at the stuff for Endergenic Generators, it's it is an RF tools thing. Down here, Endergenic Generators requires a bunch of ender pearls, diamonds, machine frame, which we know is relatively inexpensive, although I'm short on lapis at the moment. Pearl injectors, also pretty inexpensive. You know, all of this RF tool stuff that we're probably going to need, not storage terminal, sequencer, all this stuff. And I'm going to have to go look at it again because I don't remember exactly how it works, but we're going to have to build all of that stuff. And yeah, I want a place to put it. So I think we kind of need to start building the house after talking about all of that stuff, because I want a more permanent place for it. This is just a work shed. You know, this is going to be basic ore processing, some storage, and some farm storage. There's not going to be a lot here. This is done. This area, this is done, right? This isn't our house. We need to build a house so I can have a basement, really, and have a place for Endergenic Generators. On top of that, at some point during that whole process, while I was looking through all of that stuff, what happened to my, I've been repairing gear. That's what happened to my levels. I had 47 levels. I was like, what happened to all my levels? Yeah, I have been, as I mentioned, at some point, I did have 47 levels. And I was like, man, I have a lot of levels. I would really hate to lose those, even though I've got, you know, ways to get experience. Is there a way that I can save experience? And, sure enough, there is. We don't have Ender IO experience obelisk, but we've got this experience solidifier from Actually Additions. And clicking on this took me down, I don't know, maybe a 30-minute crafting hole where I just fell into learning about Actually Additions, basically by reading this book. And there's a ton of stuff in here, everything from new villagers to new ores, to new power, to new blocks, different ways to do things. And yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a bunch of stuff in here, but it's going to require space as well. So I think our basement in the house is going to be for some Actually Additions stuff, so we can get going on that. And when I was actually looking at Actually Additions, check this out. One of the things about the Endergenic Generator is that it not only takes ender pearls to craft, but it takes ender pearls to run, basically. It turns ender pearls into power. So one of the things I found looking through all of the stuff Actually Additions has is it's got a farmer block, and if you look in the book for it, it actually does specifically call out the fact that it can harvest ender lilies. So this seems like it can do it on its own. Reading through the book about this thing, it seems like it's pretty good to go. It seems like a cheaper way to do things maybe than the industrial foregoing. So I think I'm going to do that for the ender lilies, and we'll get some stuff set up. But before I get building the house, I think now that you guys have sat there and listened to me ramble on for a half an hour, I'm going to run back into the nether. I'm going to repair this Manulin shuriken before I leave, but I'm going to head back into the nether, go back to that fortress that we found earlier, and get some blaze rods, and hopefully get a drop of evil. All right, this is promising. Come on. Oh, squid ring is actually helping here. Got him. Nice. All right. And like that. Sweet. Now I've got an angel ring. But I can't. Will it not become a? I can't do baubles. I can't make it a bauble in this pack. That sucks. Is having it in my inventory enough? Yes. Nice. All right. Well, that's okay. So cool. Now I've got creative flight. We can drop these guys back off in here. Now let's go take a look at what I actually am gonna do over here. For some reason, I cannot sprint. I don't know what's going on. Like, when I'm on the ground, I hit sprint, nothing happens. Flying around, I hit sprint, nothing happens. Alright, well, I'm not sure what happened, but I fixed it. I still don't really exactly understand how I fixed it. All I did was change it to a different key, and then it still didn't work, so I changed it back, and now it works again. So, Anyways, yeah, I got creative flight, doing pretty well. So up here, I've been thinking, I definitely want to build on this leveled out platform, and I want to bring it around a bit. I want to widen this. This isn't big enough to build a house on top of, so I want to widen this a bit and then kind of bring it around. And instead, I think of making it a natural hill. Since the height difference here is so vastly different, I think what I want to do is build a retaining wall around, make this area look pretty nice, and then we can widen out this whole area, bring this whole hillside up to meet this level, and behind the retaining wall, I think that'll look pretty cool. So I'm gonna go grab some dirt and probably some cobblestone, and we'll chisel it up, and we'll get that going here. All right, so I got a retaining wall in and some dirt in place. Now, before you ask, no, I did not fill it all the way in. I basically had to start digging out dirt from underneath here just to get enough to fill in this area as it was. So no, it's not filled in, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just pretend that it is, and everything will be fine. So, yeah, I wanted to say, real quick, what is going on with this FTB Utilities claimed chunks? So you remember a few minutes ago, I said something like, I want a place to store my experience because I don't want to die and lose most of it. And look how many levels I have right now. Yeah, I died over there. Not very far away. So I've noticed, now I've had this set up since I had the squid ring, because the squid ring also uses grid power. It uses 16 versus the angel ring's 32. And yeah, this last time that I went into the nether to actually capture the ghast, I had to do it like 3 or 4 times, go back and forth and like mess with the claimed chunks and stuff. As originally I only had just the chunk with my water mills in it, because that's really all I cared to keep loaded, right? Shift left click to load a claimed chunk. Shift right click. Okay, so shift left click. Okay. Down here, it went from 0 to 50. Okay, gotcha. My bad. I thought it happened automatically. Never mind. All's good. But yeah, that death over there is because I was like, I wonder. Basically, I think there's a mesa up here somewhere. If you look down towards like the bottom center where the coordinates are, you can see that there's a desert right here, and there's like savannah and like desert hill. I know I saw a mesa around here somewhere, and I wanted to fly up there and try to find it to see if there's a place that I can easily get some terracotta. But yeah, as soon as I got far enough away and that chunk unloaded, I'm not very far at all. I went from here, unloaded chunk, dead. Anyways, I think I just resolved that issue. So let me actually go ahead and clear that, because we don't need to remember that. You remove. Cool. So up here, I'm going to be building a house. Now we're going to be getting into some wands, so I'll be able to swap out all of these building materials really easily later. Which is actually why I was hoping to get to the thing, but I'm over that now. I want to get on with this because we got stuff to do. So I'm going to lay out kind of how I want this house to be. Now this is going to be sort of a modern style house. It's so I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. I've never built one of these kind of before. So I'm just going to lay out a shape, and then we'll put up some walls, put up a ceiling, and then do what I really want to do, which is get underneath here into the basement so we can set up our generator and hopefully get into some actually addition stuff. Okay, this is really frustrating. So shift click, claimed area, chunk loaded. Okay. Loaded chunks 1, close. All right. So that is absolutely done. It keeps undoing itself, and I don't know why. And it seems to be random. I've been struggling over here trying to come up with something that looks halfway decent. I've got a shape here, which I like. I've redone this to make it to bring it in a little bit, to make this area a little bit larger. I think that looks way better than it did before. But I'm struggling to come up with walls and stuff. I don't want to make this about building a house. So just quickly, I wanted to say, you know, this modern style, you can see it's kind of a bland. It's a lot of straight lines, a lot of solid colors. And we're going to do something similar. Obviously, we'll make it look better than these buildings. But, yeah, I can't, you know, it's weird to me to, like, do a temporary block. Like, I can come in with the swapping one later and change it out for whatever I want. But like it looks so bad. So I'm like, all right, I can't use a temporary block. Now that I figured out the chunk loading thing, let me go out to see if I can find that mesa. And then I just fell again into the water. It's like once I leave the area where this chunk is, it like decides that it wants to become unloaded. I don't understand. We'll see if it happens again. Watch, now that I'm recording, it probably won't. Right here. Nope, it's still there. Normally I fall in right there, so I guess I'm good. But like I just tested it out. Like I set it, I came back over here, fell in. Set it, came back over here, fell in. Set it, logged out, logged back in, and that's when I showed you guys that it still wasn't there. So I don't understand what's going on with that. This pack seems to be very touchy about certain things, and it's starting to get frustrating, to be honest with you. Anyways, I'm gonna fly up this way. Basically, I'm headed up straight north because I want to get up to this area. All right, I hit the desert, and the mesa is just north of us, but I want to show you, this is kind of neat. When you hit the desert, the colors of the buildings change too. We get the red sandstone and like orange terracotta and like red terracotta. That's kind of cool. So the mesa should be right up here. I mean, we see terracotta everywhere. Very cool. Okay. Fortunately, there's buildings everywhere, so mining this stuff might actually be impossible. Alright guys, I'm back. I took a little bit of a break. Don't know if you could tell. It's getting a little bit salty there. It's the next day for me. Yeah, I tend to not have much patience for things that don't work the way I think they should work, which is weird that I'm playing modded now. So I have a house, you guys. Whoa, hello lag. I stopped recording and I just spent some time building this house. Nothing super special, you know, it's just plain terracotta, stone slabs, birch wood, stuff like that. But it's a good shape. It's a good I actually kind of like this house. I think it looks kind of neat. Not sure what all exactly I need to do to change it, but again, this is not really the important part of this episode. Even though, well, we're getting late into the episode before we actually start what I'm excited about. Down here, I've got a basement, and this is where I'm going to stick the Endergenic Generator. I've got a bunch of stuff in my inventory. I've got 4 generators. I've got a pearl injector, redstone receiver, transmitter, 4 monitors, 8 sequencers, a bunch of redstone, energy cell, and an upgrade for it. So here's what I think I'm going to do. If you guys know about Endergenic generators, you'll know they're a bit complex to set up, and I've never built one before. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it off camera, I'm going to figure out how it works, and then bring you guys back so I can kind of explain it a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, if you don't know about Endergenic generators, you'll see in a second why I did not want to build it on camera. Alright guys, so Endergenic generators. This is like the 4th time I've tried to record this clip. This is hard to get through quickly. But alright, to start with, I wanted to say Ender IO conduits, the redstone conduits, not having those, I'm feeling that right now. I've got to use redstone dust here. I mean, there are other things I could use, but they're super complicated to make and way overkill for what I need, especially since I'm going to need to transfer the signal between so many different things. I spent a long time looking, could not find a replacement for any kind of redstone conduit, cable, anything like that. So if you guys know of anything, please let me know. Alright. Endergenic generators. This is pretty much a direct copy of Direwolf20's that he built in his mod spotlight video. The link to that video will be in the description. If you're interested in these and you don't know how they work, definitely go check them out because I'm going to try to go through this really quickly and it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so excuse me. Endergenic generators. The block itself is in 3 different states. It's in idle, which it is now, not doing anything. You pulse it once and it will become in charging mode, and then while charging, if it receives an ender pearl thrown from another Endergenic generator, it will become in holding state. Now, this system is based on loops pretty much, and explicit, precise timings. We're talking down to the tick. Specifically, yeah, it's all about ticks in this thing. Sub-seconds. 1 tick is 1/20th of a second. There are 20 ticks in 1 second. So that's the kind of stuff we're working with here. It gets real complex. So basically, when you provide an Endergenic Generator with a pulse, it becomes in charging mode. And while it's in charging mode, and it will be in charging mode, I think, for 1 second. I'm not entirely sure how long, but that sounds right, and it's really not that important, because the important thing is you want on the 10th tick of that charging cycle, that's when it will generate the most power from receiving an ender pearl. So you want to time it just right, so that 10 ticks after you pulse it and it becomes in charging mode, that's when it receives the pearl. Once it receives a pearl, it goes into holding state, at which point it starts using energy. So you want to you definitely want to pulse it again as soon as possible, so that it will then throw the pearl to its destination, which you set with this smart wrench from RF Tools. You right-click the Endergenic Generator, and then you right-click what you want to be its destination. So now those are set, and then you can see that it's destination set distance is 2 ticks, and that's important because, again, timings. That means it takes 2 seconds for an ender pearl to get from the source to the destination. Did I say 2 seconds? I meant 2 ticks. I don't know. It's starting to confuse myself here. Okay, so then to talk about the individual pieces real quick, this is a sequencer. This is pretty cool. I've got it set to 1/2, which means whenever it receives a signal, it will generate a 1 tick or generate a pulse based on what I've got selected here. So up here on the 4th tick, I want a 1 tick pulse. I could probably select this whole line and it would generate a solid pulse for 8 ticks, but I want 1 pulse on the 4th tick. That's what the sequencer does. This ender monitor is real simple. It generates a redstone pulse when a pearl is fired. And there's multiple different things you can select, but that's what I want. Whenever this guy fires an ender pearl, I want this thing to generate a pulse. That's what it's doing. So now to explain how all that stuff works together quickly, when I hit this button, this is going to generate 1 tick pulse on the 1st tick. And then so after that tick, this is going to do the same thing. Ignore this for now. Though this is going to generate another pulse after 1 tick. So 2 ticks after I push the button, tick 1, tick 2, this is going to receive a pulse, which is going to put it in charging mode. So then I want it to receive a pearl 10 ticks after that, for a total of 12 ticks after I push the button. So to do that, we're going to take another sequencer signal, and this one's going to generate a pulse. You can see it if I right click it here. This is 8, 9. So on tick 9, I want you to generate a pulse. So 9, and this takes about another tick for it to inject a pearl and fire. So that would be 10, and then we know it takes 2 ticks to travel, so 11, 12, perfect, right? And then basically this one's saying, this says here, when this one fires a pearl, 3 ticks or 4 ticks after that, I want you to fire. So that works out great. So then it's going to receive a pearl, it's going to fire, and then this guy, it all works in a loop, right? So not only does this 2 ticks after I push the button pulse this, it's also going to provide a signal to this one, which 4 ticks after is going to provide 1 pulse to this, and the loop around and around and around. So there's basically 2 loops happening. There's the outer loop, which is controlled by the redstone dust and the sequencers, and then the inner loop, which is controlled by the ender monitors, which means that this has to actually throw a pearl for this loop to continue. Additionally, for this outer loop to continue, I've got it hooked up to an ender monitor here, and a redstone transmitter and a redstone receiver. Right, so that way, if I just run a straight, like if originally I had this transmitter hooked directly to here to basically simulate the redstone signal traveling around through all this junk, but that would create an infinite loop whenever I hit the button. I don't want to do that. I only want the loop to continue if this one fires the pearl, which is what this setup is for, like that. So what you want to see is you hit the button and the inner pearl travels around and around a loop, generating power. However, I am not having that. I've got 2 pearls left in the second stack, so I've almost used 2 full stacks of ender pearls testing this thing. Let's just take a look and see what happens. So I hit the button, and you can see it looked like the pearl ran around. Now I've got to get up here quick. Shift, arrived at 9, arrived at 10, arrived at 10, and it's too late. You see, I only get the stats over the last 5 seconds. That's my first problem. It's impossible to troubleshoot, because it's impossible within 5 seconds for me to look at 4 different blocks and get all the relevant information that I need. Specifically, I want to see when the pearl arrived and how long it held it, basically. And it's really, I can't do that. The second problem that I'm having, and I will just tell you because it's going to be really hard for me to show you, is that for the first loop, this one arrives at 10, this one arrives at 10, this one arrives at 10, this one arrives at like 3. That doesn't make any sense to me, because as we know, each of the timings is based on the previous segment. So there's no reason that this one should be arriving that early. Normally, how I would do that, like say it was arriving at tick 11, right? I would say, okay, I need to start this one charging, see if I need it 1 tick later, right? So that way it will arrive during the charging phase 1 tick sooner. So I would move this back 1. But because it's arriving way early, if it's arriving at tick 3, I need to start charging this. I need to start charging that, 7 ticks earlier. And since this is already set to the first tick, I need this to go like -6. And since this is set to tick 3, that means I literally need to pulse this one before this one. And that doesn't make any sense to me at all. There's definitely something janky going on here that I just can't figure out. So you guys that know about these Endergenic generators, if you have any idea what's going on, please let me know. The one that Dire built in his setup in that video, he said you get about 2 million RF per ender pearl. Yeah, I've gone through 31 ender pearls and have just now broken the 2 million RF. So there's definitely something going on here. It is generating power, but extremely slowly, and that's just not really what I'm at. So yeah, hopefully that made sense to you guys. I know it's a lot to get through, so I'm kind of tired of messing with this for today, to be honest with you. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below, please, especially if you know what's going on here. I could really use the help. Hit that subscribe button if you do, and if you're enjoying the content, don't want to miss anything. I've got some other series on the channel you might enjoy. And yeah, until next time, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.